How's it going, guys? I'm here to show you how to black out the back of your tank, side of your tank, or any part of your tank really. Basically cover that back panel or the panel you don't use to comfort your fish a little more. We'll talk reasons why you might want to do this later, but for now, let's get into how to do it. So the things you're gonna need, the most important thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need some vinyl. Now, you can get vinyl on Amazon, on eBay. The best way though is to get it from a local supplier, some local decal guy or something. It's not a lot of work for them. They're just gonna cut you a piece. It shouldn't cost too much. It costs a little more on Amazon, but you can pick colors there and you can get a lot more for multiple tanks, for example. So again, this is called 651, Oracal 651 it's called. Oracal's the brand, that's the model number. There's also 631, it's more removable. This one's rated for 6+ years outdoors in the sun. So indoors in your aquarium, that'll last a long time. Unless you peel it, of course, in which case it starts to peel. But they last a long time. I like doing this instead of like painting it or spray painting it or whatever, because that's more actual permanent. With this, you can actually get it off. Even if it's been on there for 5 years, worst comes to worst, you use some glue gun to get that adhesive off and you're done. So this is a good way to black out your tank. You'll need vinyl. Buy yourself enough just in case you mess up a little bit, but the way I'm doing it, the way I'm going to show you, I'm going to try to reduce the chance of you messing up, but you know, that's up to you also. So yeah, vinyl, whatever color you want. There's black, there's red, there's orange, silver, metallic, there's many different colors you can do. I'm going to stick to black because I like how it looks. You're going to need something to squeegee the vinyl. I have an actual squeegee because, again, I do this all day. This is my thing. This is my job, basically. So I have a squeegee. You can use an ID card, an old ID card, or an old credit card. Either way, you need it to have a flat surface so you can scrape off all the air bubbles and water bubbles. You want some scissors to cut the vinyl with. You're going to want an X-Acto knife if you can, or a blade, anything sharp that'll let you cut on the fly. It needs to be pretty sharp though. These tweezers might help you here and there if you need some tweezers. If you have tweezers around, use them. And you're gonna need some water. On my trusty jug here, it'll work for me. So again, vinyl, scissors, knife, tweezers if you can, and a towel to clean up everything. So you wanna look at your tank, you wanna figure out what side you're gonna apply the vinyl on. And now on bigger tanks, this might be a little harder because it's a giant tank, but this tank is small, so I'll show you in this tank. But basically, you wanna work on it facing up if possible. If not, you can do just facing whatever direction you want, but it's a little easier flat. So here's it already done. I already did it because I only have one hand right now because I'm recording. But basically, you wanna get a piece of vinyl that's bigger on both dimensions, left to right and top, bottom to top or whatever. So that way you're gonna actually be cutting along the edge as you apply it, and that's how we're gonna get a custom fit. So I'm lucky enough that this is a 12-inch wide roll, piece. So it's already basically there for me because this tank is 11.5 inches, so I'm just gonna cut half an inch on each side almost. And then the length going like this is going to be longer, so I just cut that itself. So let's pretend this is already peeled. You're going to peel it yourself, but let's take a step back actually. So before you do it, make sure your surface where you're going to apply your vinyl to is clean, degreased if possible, with no dust on it or any kind of particles or algae or whatever, and because it's going to affect how it looks when it's stuck on. Otherwise, go ahead and continue to the next step, which is the next step would be apply water. You want to apply as much water as possible to the flat surface. The water is going to allow you to move the vinyl around so that you don't mess up. A lot of people don't know this method and they'll just apply vinyl on top of it and they'll get air bubbles like crazy. So the way this vinyl works is the adhesive on the back of the vinyl is made, it's waterproof. So it's not going to stick to the surface until the water is gone. So we can use that to our advantage and apply water first, put the vinyl on top, and then the vinyl will just slip around, and then you just squeegee out the water and it starts to adhere to the actual surface. Without water, as soon as the vinyl touches the glass, it's stuck on there. And it's kind of hard to take it off. You're gonna ruin vinyl like that. Go ahead if you're good, fast, or whatever, but I wouldn't try it. I wouldn't even do it myself. I use water for this. So get some nice water on there, a good amount of water. Be very generous with the water. Place it on there, move it around, get it right at where you want it, and then you start to squeegee the water out. Squeegee towards from the center out, boom, 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 keep squeegeeing. Now, we want to get as much water out as possible because you just don't want water under there. It takes longer to dry on its own than for you to just squeegee it out. Now, don't be afraid to if you leave some water in there. It's fine. It'll eventually evaporate, but you want to get most of it out. So once you squeegee most of the water out, you're going to have these hang edges, right? They're going to be hanging off. They're not going to be perfect. And then you get your knife and you start cutting around the edge. Boom, boom, boom. And you'll get something like this. And once you get to that point, if you have some edges, you could that are like hanging, you just cut them off, blah, blah, blah. And then you can squeegee a little more if you want after that. Don't worry about air bubbles too much or water bubbles. I mean, it's the back of your tank. I wouldn't worry too much. So yeah, that's how you do it basically. Now, one of the reasons why people like to do it is because it looks good. It makes your plants pop. It makes your fish pop, the colors. It just sets off the tank really nice. Only reason I wouldn't do this is if this tank was like a centerpiece and you wanted to view it from all angles, then you wouldn't want to do it, obviously. But I know it's easier to breed like this as well. Things like German blue rams will like the black because they can hide in the corner and not feel like something's behind them. Also, if you did both, then you would have a nice corner for them. It's up to you though. But yeah, like I said, there's different colors out there, different reasons why you would do this. I do it because it looks really nice. Also, after that, I don't even clean this back anymore. Once in a blue moon, I'll scrape the algae off, but I leave that back there for my algae eaters, and they're always going to eat that. And I just keep the other panels clean. So it's up to you guys. Thanks, like and subscribe if possible, and you guys have a good one.